Okay, take a second. Think about a really great experience you had with a company, or maybe your favorite brand. You probably don't remember every single little detail, do you? The exact product feature or precise cost. It gets hazy, but I bet you remember how it felt, right? Maybe you felt really listened to, or just delighted, or maybe incredibly relieved they sorted something out. That feeling, that emotional mark, that's what sticks. That's what makes something unforgettable. And that's exactly what we're diving deep into today. Why customers remember feelings more than products. We're going to explore how the experience itself, the emotions it stirs up, often completely outweighs the actual product or service in your memory. And, crucially, in your loyalty.
It really does. And that's such a key insight in today's world, isn't it? I mean, there are so many choices out there. Products can start to feel, well, pretty similar. So the real difference maker for a business isn't just what they're selling. It's about how they make you, the customer, feel. So our mission here is to unpack five, let's call them pillars, five essential pillars that go beyond just good service. They're about building real emotional connections, turning maybe a one-time buyer into someone who genuinely advocates for the brand. These are really the foundations for lasting relationships.
Okay, let's get into it then. Pillar number one, consistency and trust. Now that sounds pretty fundamental, basic stuff, right? But if it's so basic, why is it sometimes so hard for businesses to get right consistently? And why is it so critical for those lasting feelings, those memories we're talking about?
Well, it's fascinating because consistency isn't just about, getting the same coffee every time. It's actually the bedrock of trust. It creates a sense of psychological safety for you. Think about it. When your interactions with a company are reliable, predictable, it just lowers the uncertainty.
Ah, okay. So you don't have to worry each time what might happen.
Exactly. You can relax a bit, feel secure in that relationship. It's like a steady rhythm in a kind of chaotic marketplace. That predictability provides comfort, and that comfort directly builds trust. It's not just about getting it right once, but getting it right every time.
So it frees you up from that low-level anxiety about the interaction.
Precisely.
Okay, so if that's the feeling it creates safety, trust, how do businesses actually do that? How do they build this consistency into, like, their day-to-day?
It really starts with understanding the whole journey you go through as a customer, like mapping out every single touch point. And then, importantly, setting really clear, non-negotiable standards for service. Things like response times, the tone they use in emails or chat, how they handle problems when they crop up.
So clear rules for the team.
Clear rules, exactly. And often communicating some of those standards to you too. Then creating checklists for common processes. Things like onboarding a new customer or handling a return or a support call. Checklists help ensure everyone delivers that same level of care every single time.
It's not about being robotic, but reliable.
Right. It establishes a reliable baseline. And then, crucially, they need systems to track how well they're sticking to those standards. Are deliveries on time? Are issues resolved on the first contact? Monitoring these metrics lets them spot inconsistencies and fix them before they really damage that trust.
So it's that constant reliability, that promise kept over and over, that builds that peace of mind.
That's the feeling, reliability, peace of mind.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But building on that trust foundation, let's move to pillar two, personalization. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, I think, because we all like feeling special, don't we? Seen as an individual, not just, another order number.
We absolutely do. And connecting this to the bigger idea, real personalization goes way beyond just like sticking your first name in an automated email.
Yeah, that can feel pretty hollow sometimes.
Right. It's about making you feel genuinely seen and valued. It's about creating a more human connection. When a business gets it right, maybe they anticipate something you need based on past behavior, it shows they actually understand you. They care.
But there's a fine line there, isn't there?
Yeah.
How do businesses do personalization well, make it meaningful, without it feeling, well, kind of intrusive or just creepy?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The creepy factor usually comes in when the personalization feels irrelevant or like they know too much in a way that doesn't actually help you.
Okay, so relevance is key.
Relevance and empathy. It starts with gathering the right data, ethically, of course, from all the different ways you interact. Purchases, website visits, support chats, feedback.
Bringing it all together.
Exactly. Creating a unified view. But then it's not just about looking back, it's about using that data, maybe with some smart segmentation or analytics, to anticipate what you might need or want next. So maybe you bought running shoes, and later you get a relevant tip about local running routes or maybe stretching techniques. That feels helpful. Consider it.
Not just trying to sell me more shoes immediately.
Yeah, or designing communication that adapts based on your actions. If you start using a new feature in an app, maybe you get a helpful tip about it. It's personalization that feels like it's genuinely for you, helping you succeed or enjoy the product more. That's when it builds connection, not discomfort.
That's the aha moment you mentioned, when it feels like they just get you. That creates such a strong positive feeling, doesn't it? Feeling understood and appreciated.
Absolutely. It shifts things from just a transaction to something more like a relationship.
Which leads us really nicely into our third pillar, proactivity. This one feels powerful. It's about getting ahead of the curve, right? Seeing what you might need before you even ask.
Precisely. Proactivity is a huge differentiator because it shows a business isn't just waiting for problems to happen. They're actively looking out for your success and well-being.
They're invested.
They're invested in your journey, and that raises a really interesting point. How can businesses actually predict what you might need and address it before you even realize it yourself? It's moving from reactive problem solver to, like, a trusted partner.
Okay, so give us some concrete examples. How does a business be proactive in a way that actually feels supportive and helpful to the customer?
Sure. One really effective way is, again, mapping out that customer journey, but this time looking for common roadblocks or questions people have at each stage.
Finding the friction points.
Finding the friction points, and then creating resources, FAQs, guides, little video tutorials to address those before you hit them, like an onboarding sequence that anticipates the first few hurdles. Another way is setting up planned check-ins, not sales calls, but genuine touch points.
Like, hey, you bought this 30 days ago. How's it going?
Exactly. Or checking in after a major milestone. It shows they're still thinking about you after the initial purchase. And then there's the more advanced stuff, using data. Looking at how you're using a product or service. Are there patterns that suggest you might be struggling or maybe at risk of leaving?
Early warning system.
Sort of, yeah. An early warning system that allows them to reach out proactively with help or support before you get frustrated. It's about spotting potential issues early.
Wow, the feeling that must create. Being looked after, cared for, like someone's got your back. That worry is just lifted before it even starts.
It builds incredible goodwill.
Definitely. Okay, that brings us to pillar number 4. Transparency. This feels closely linked to trust, obviously. Just being open, upfront, honest, especially now when everyone can find information so easily anyway.
Absolutely. The link to trust is direct and very strong. And what's really interesting here is that being transparent, even radically transparent, can actually build trust faster than almost anything else because it sets clear, realistic expectations from the start.
Even if the news isn't great, like admitting a limitation.
Especially then, sometimes. Being upfront about limitations or potential hiccups or even mistakes you've made, it shows respect for the customer's intelligence. It treats you like a partner in the relationship. Trying to hide things or spin them almost always backfires eventually and erodes that confidence.
Okay, but is there a line? How transparent is too transparent? Where's the sweet spot for being honest without, say, giving away competitive secrets or just overwhelming people with technical details?
Yeah, that's a fair question. The key is focusing transparency on what directly impacts your experience and your expectations as the customer. So businesses should really audit all your communications, website copy, emails, policies, everything, and strip out the jargon. Make expectations crystal clear.
No fine print traps.
Exactly. And be honest about policies regarding potential issues. If shipping sometimes gets delayed during busy seasons, say so up front. If a feature has known limitations, be clear about them. And crucially, when things do go wrong, because sometimes they will have a plan, a rapid response protocol. Meaning, notify customers quickly. Explain what happened honestly without making excuses. Say what you're doing to fix it and give a realistic timeline. Think about how some tech companies handle outages with real-time updates.
Right, you appreciate the honesty even if you're annoyed about the adage.
Precisely. That kind of candor often builds more long-term loyalty than trying to pretend everything is always perfect.
That makes sense. It creates this feeling of relief, almost. Confidence. You know where you stand, even if things aren't perfect. That honesty feels good.
It reinforces trust massively.
Okay, finally, pillar number 5, and this sounds like the fun one. Surprise and delight This really feels like the secret sauce, doesn't it? Those little unexpected moments that make an experience truly memorable, the stories you actually tell your friends.
It absolutely can be. If we look at the bigger picture, these surprise and delight moments aren't just random niceties. They should be, ideally, intentional actions designed to exceed your expectations in a positive way. They create these little bursts of unexpected joy or
Hmm.
recognition. And those moments, they transform a standard, maybe even boring transaction into something genuinely memorable. They're critical for forging that deeper emotional bond.
Hmm.
It moves you from just being satisfied to actually feeling, well, affection for the brand.
Okay, I love the idea,
Yeah.
but how do businesses do this consistently? How do they surprise and delight without it feeling fake or, like they have to spend a fortune on grand gestures all the time?
Great point. Authenticity is key, and it doesn't have to be expensive. It's usually about thoughtfulness and timing. One strategy is to identify, say, 3 to 5 specific points in the typical customer journey where a small, unexpected bit of value or recognition would have a big impact.
Like what?
Could be a handwritten thank you note in an order, maybe a small, relevant freebie for a loyal customer, or sending a link to an article you knew they'd find interesting based on past interactions. Small things. It's also smart to maybe set aside a small surprise budget. Could be money, could be team time, could just be empowerment for staff to act on opportunities they spot.
So empowering the frontline team to do something nice.
Yes. And having a system to track customer milestones, anniversaries with the brand, maybe a birthday if appropriate, or even a goal they mentioned achieving. Celebrating those in a small, personal way can be incredibly powerful. A quick personalized email, a little discount, something relevant. It's the unexpected thoughtfulness that resonates.
That's brilliant. It's not about the cost, it's the thought. That unexpected gesture creates pure joy, doesn't it?
Uh-huh.
A really positive memory that lasts.
Exactly. It elevates the whole interaction.
Okay, so we've walked through these 5 really powerful pillars: consistency and trust,
Ah.
personalization, proactivity, transparency, and surprise and delight. As you said, this isn't like a one-time setup, is it? Creating these feelings, these connections that needs ongoing effort, right? How do businesses make sure this stuff actually sticks and keeps working over time?
You're absolutely right. It's definitely not set it and forget it. It requires a continuous, conscious commitment across the whole organization. First off, businesses need to be regularly looking at their customer experience metrics, not just sales, but things like Net Promoter Score, satisfaction ratings, customer effort scores, maybe monthly reviews to catch any dips or problems early,
Keeping an eye on the dials.
keeping an eye on the dials, and creating a really solid feedback loop. Actively gathering input from customer surveys, calls, social media, listening, analyzing it, and crucially, acting on it.
Closing the loop?
Closing the loop. Then, making sure everyone on the team understands these 5 pillars, training people, reinforcing why it matters, what their role is. It has to be part of the culture. And finally, maybe scheduling regular sessions, say quarterly, specifically to brainstorm new ways to improve on each pillar. Experience innovation sessions or something like that.
Keeping it fresh.
Exactly. Preventing the experience from getting stale. These ongoing practices are what ensure those positive feelings and memorable experiences stay strong and relevant for you, the customer, year after year.
So wrapping this all up, what does it mean for you listening? Whether you're dealing with businesses day to day or maybe you're building one yourself. Next time you interact with a brand, just pause for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the feelings. What's being created? Is it confidence? Because they're so consistent. Is it that feeling of being gotten through personalization? Is it relief because they were proactive? Trust through their transparency. Or maybe that spark of joy from a surprise, these emotional outcomes, that's really the heart of loyalty, isn't it?
It really is. And maybe that leaves us with a final thought to chew on. How much of our own loyalty, the brands we stick with, is genuinely about the nuts and bolts of the product itself? And how much is actually about those consistent positive emotions, those unforgettable feelings they manage to evoke in us time and time again? It really shapes our connection in ways we might not always realize.
That's a great question to reflect on. Observe your own reactions as a customer this week. And think about how understanding this power, the power of feeling over just function, could change how you approach things, in business or just in life. We hope this deep dive gave you some valuable insights into why those feelings matter so much, and maybe some ideas on how to create more unforgettable experiences.